G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to War Thunder with Mags, and today we'll be taking a look at one of the more interesting aircraft added in patch 1.79. This is the BF-109 Zwilling. So before we go into how the aircraft performs in War Thunder, let's take a look at why the hell someone at Messerschmitt thought sticking two 109s together was a good idea to begin with, because as silly as it seems, it actually makes a level of sense. The 109Z's design started in 1942. The Luftwaffe were looking for a new heavy fighter to either augment or replace the aging 110 design. With America entering the war and a host of new high-altitude bombers soon to enter the theatre, the new design needed to be light, fast, heavily armed with a great rate of climb. Essentially what the Luftwaffe wanted was their own P-38. Now, Messerschmitt have been toying with the idea of using a modified 109 design to fulfill a heavy fighter role since 1941. However, a directive put forward in 1941 had limited, or at least tried to limit, the number of new aircraft designs coming from a single major aircraft manufacturer to a controlled amount. The idea was to prevent the manufacturer from getting sidetracked, potentially wasting resources on a project that may impact the main production of fighters already approved and needed for the war effort. No new heavy fighter design would be approved, and that's when some bright spark asked the question, why does it have to be new? The Zwilling is 90% original single-engine 109, with the only difference being the central wing and the elevator and the internal cabling that allows one pilot on one side of the aircraft to control all of the control surfaces. This high level of compatibility meant that it could get around the directives limiting the production of new fighters, as, well, the 109 was an already approved design, but it also made it extremely efficient in other areas. As the aircraft was based on the original 109 F4 airframe and would be constructed by essentially taking two incomplete 109 fuselages from the production line and a single wing and mounting them together, designing upgrades for the Zwilling would not be necessary. Each time the 109 received a new model upgrade, so for example, the G2, the G6, the G14 and so on, the Zwilling would automatically be switched to the new hulls off the line, automatically updating to the new airframe and taking any new improvements that came with these new airframes along with it. The design also increased the overall wing area of the 109 and doubled the horsepower of the airframe without actually doubling the weight. This meant the Zwilling theoretically should have had a much higher climb rate than a traditional 109, while also having a much higher straight line speed. Unfortunately, theories on what could have been is all we really have. Only a single Zwilling prototype was ever built based on the F4, and it was destroyed in an Allied bombing raid in early 1943, just before it was due to start flight testing. The project was to be started again with designs for a Zwilling prototype based on the 109 G6 and one odd concept fitted with Jumo 213 engines rather than DB605s, making it a twin-boom 109-190 hybrid, but none of these would come to pass. The project was cancelled in 1944, with Messerschmitt moving all of its focus onto the 262. Anyways, so how does the aircraft perform in War Thunder? Well, very similar to how I just described it. It has a fantastic rate of climb. Taking off from the runway, this thing will hit the bomber spawns with absolutely no problems whatsoever. When it has the advantage of an air spawn, such as here on the Britain map, holding altitude and getting to an altitude advantage is absolutely no problem whatsoever. The thing can maintain pace with Spitfires in a climb, which is exceptional. It also has a phenomenal amount of firepower, 4 30mm cannons. That's 4 machine cannon 108s with 260 rounds of ammunition. That's a 14.52 kilogram per second burst mass. That puts the 109Z as easily the most hard-hitting aircraft at its battle rating and one of the hardest-hitting aircraft in the game, period. And then there's the speed. Cruise speed is over 400 kilometers an hour indicated airspeed at anywhere up to about 25,000 feet. You can still, with a little bit of a run-up, hit over 400 IAS at over 30,000 feet. This thing is fast. While I haven't tested the results in a straight line race, in general combat performance, there is basically no aircraft that I've encountered at this battle rating that I cannot outrun in a straight line while flying this aircraft. P-47s, LA-7s, it absolutely doesn't matter, and the altitude almost doesn't matter as well. It's just a bloody fast aircraft. So, what are the downsides? Well, there are a couple. For starters, the guns. Now, the guns are phenomenal in terms of the amount of firepower they can deliver, and if you get those guns on target, they are devastating to anything that they hit. Pretty much nothing that I've encountered in this battle rating has ever survived a direct hit from the guns on this machine. It is just a monster. But the innermost 30mm cannons are mounted in the prop hubs of the fuselages of the 109Z. That is as close together as the guns get. The second set of 30mm cannons are mounted in the pods underneath the wings that you can see right here on the aircraft. This has the guns extremely wide set from the centerline of the aircraft, and there is, unlike the Twin Mustang for example, no option to mount additional weapons down that center line. On top of that, these are machine cannon 108s with their infamous low muzzle velocity of only around 540 meters per second. Against small targets like fighters, the 109Z actually has a lot of difficulty. I've found myself having to use the speed to the best I can, as you're about to see here, to close the distance and make the gap as small as possible before firing, otherwise risking having the target aircraft simply outmaneuver and fly away from the shots. And this is important because missing is not really an option in this aircraft either. 260 rounds of ammunition over 4 guns is only 65 rounds of ammunition per cannon. And the machine cannon 108 has a firing rate of around 650 rounds per minute, which means this aircraft can clear its entire ammunition load in just over 6 seconds. Now you're probably thinking the turning circle of the 109Z would be one of its weaknesses, but it actually turns comparable to a P-38. For a heavy fighter, it's actually quite nippy in the turns. The roll rate of the aircraft is excellent as well, however, it is a heavy fighter at battle rating 4.7 and will regularly find itself in combat against single-engine fighters of up to battle rating 5.7. While its turn radius and its roll rate are fantastic for a heavy fighter, it's still not comparable to some of the single-engine fighters it's going to be fighting, and it will regularly find itself in situations where if it can't run, it is simply going to be outmaneuvered and flattened by its opposition. Thankfully, running, providing you're a smart pilot, will always be an option providing you keep your energy up. This is an aircraft that needs to be flown exclusively in boom and zoom. You will not be able to sustain any kind of turn fighting. If you are forced into that situation, you should break away immediately, get distance, get energy, and get altitude. That's 3 things that this plane does very well. You can always have a shot at the enemy later, but you can't have a shot at them if you're dead. That said, I have found that most of my success with this aircraft is actually in the bent anti-bomber role. It's no surprise, with guns like this you want to make sure you're hitting the target, and the bombers are the biggest targets around. And because the aircraft is so damn fast and climbs so goddamn well, catching them is absolutely no problem whatsoever. Even those that try to run and hide at altitude have no chance of getting away from you. If you can find them, you can get to them and you can drag them in. And this honestly is not a bad option, because the thing to remember, the 109Z is a premium plane. In the end, whenever you purchase a premium plane, one of the major things you're looking for is the ability to generate RP and the ability to generate credits, neither of which really cares too much about what you're actually shooting down. This particular match, I spent most of it hunting down and shooting down bombers and was able to pull well in excess of 75,000 credits and over 15,000 research points for the sum time of about 12 minutes to complete the match. Even a single lazy kill will pull well over 30,000 credits in this aircraft with no problems whatsoever, so making money is something that it does particularly well. But if you're looking to engage fighters with it and you are looking to be hyper competitive in it, well, I won't say that you can't. I actually quite like the aircraft, I enjoy the way it feels, but I'm also somebody who very much enjoys the P-38s as well, even those at high tiers that are at a distinct disadvantage in comparison to some of their single-engine counterparts. The Zwilling could be a competitive plane, but it would be a plane that would require an experienced pilot to actually get it to function. It is not something that I would consider new user-friendly. You have to keep your energy at all times, and you have to keep strictly to boom and zoom tactics, otherwise you will just get outmaneuvered and you will get dead. They say that speed is life and altitude is life insurance, and in this aircraft those two things have never ever been more true. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video and thank you very much for watching. As I pop this PE8, that brings this match to a close. That was the well, second final aircraft. The final aircraft just got popped down there at ground level. Could have been a little cleaner there taking down the PE-8, but honestly, I was figuring it was the last aircraft left, and as soon as it was destroyed, that would be match over, so all I needed was for it to die. Anyways, as always, remember to check the video description down below for links to my social media, links to my Discord, links to my Patreon if you'd like to support the channel, and links to my Twitch if you would like to check out what I get up to over there. As always, remember to click that like button, share and subscribe if you would like to see more, and if you want to make sure you are always going to get notifications for videos uploaded to the channel, click that bell icon next to the subscribe button, and as always, ladies and gents, fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.